Okay, so it feels like it's been a while since the last stream, but hopefully I can remember where all the buttons are. But yeah, today I was thinking, since in the previous stream we tried the clap plugin standard with Syndicate, and that was a bit of an experiment. I thought I would try another little experiment and just see how it goes, and that is using JIVE, which I should probably start by explaining the problem I have currently, and why I might be interested in something like this. So the current problem is, if we, I mean, I don't know, I don't have an idea in my head of a good example, but if we look at some of the UI code for Syndicate, it gets quite messy. There's a lot going on for relatively simple components. So I think this is partly my fault for not using better patterns in designing this, and I think it is partly because it's a very, like under JUCE with the object-oriented way the UI works, it's a very kind of prescriptive, like you have to create an object, you have to manage the lifetime of that object, you have to tell it like what it should look like when it's painted, what it should do when it's resized, you have to manage all of its state yourself. Whereas like other frameworks, I'm thinking of maybe stuff like React or Flutter. Flutter I think is a really good example. For stuff like that, you kind of just say, I want a component of a particular type to be somewhere on the screen. Here's some rules for laying it out. This is roughly what it should look like. And then the framework itself kind of manages creating those objects and manages things like positioning them and updating their state and all of that stuff. I can't remember the terminology for this now. I don't know if it's like declarative or something like that is how people consider this. But yeah, this is the kind of thing that JIVE hopefully brings to JUCE. I don't know much about it. I thought this would just be a fun stream, I guess, just to attempt to rewrite maybe parts of Syndicate's UI with this. So, I don't know how to get started. Well, I have a rough idea. It's a JUCE module, so it's going to be adding that module. I know that it works based on value trees, which is pretty cool. I've had a quick look at some examples. So if we have a look at those, I think it is under view. Yeah, so this is how components are defined. You have a value tree. I guess it has a name of some sort. An ID, which I think is what you use to reference it to update its state. So this is kind of like if you've done any web stuff. I guess this is like in jQuery or something, you might use an ID to address an object. I guess you can do that in React and stuff as well, but it's probably not the preferred way to do it. But yeah, I thought this would just be a fun thing to attempt, and just see how it goes. But I also have a few other fixes and things to do for Syndicate, so I might also get onto those. But yeah, let's start by getting Syndicate open. So I was thinking to get started, this is maybe a relatively simple piece of UI where I can just kind of try it and see what happens. And if it doesn't work, then I'll do something else. I'll do some bug fixes or something. But yeah, so let's get the project open. So this is our Syndicate project. I'll need to add a module. Global juice modules path. Not that. Global juice user modules path. Okay. Let's see where this goes. So I might just need to update some paths. Right, so this is the first time that I have used a juice user module. I just need to set that up for a second. Okay, hopefully this will work. Okay, so we've got a couple modules in here. Let's go back to the instructions. Getting started. Add modules to the project. Do I need to add all the modules? Okay, let's add all the modules for now. Modules have missing dependencies. Okay, add missing dependencies. We have components, we have core. What else did we have? Layout and style sheets. Let's just add all of that for now. Where do we go next? Right, we have a guide. Cool. So we need to describe it using a value tree. We have an interpreter which will produce a GUI item, and we can make changes to the value tree to update the UI. Okay, so this is an example of what our value tree could look like. Value tree window changes to editor for plugin projects. So window type of the tree. Okay, so this is our type. Right. The window type of the tree will mean the top level component is a document window. So that is potentially what we want for... I've closed it now. Open Syndicate again. So when we click here, potentially what we want is to replace all of this. So let's have a look at the code that does that at the minute. So in our UI we have I think we have some kind of interface class in the plugin graph. Modulation interface maybe. Select modulation target. What does that do? Yeah, okay. So here so if we want to draw this window, we need to get a list, or we need to get the plugin. So for example, we've got Supermassive open here. So that's the plugin that we're working with in this case. Click on that, we get our window. So we need to get a list of all the parameters for the plugin to populate this. So that's what we do here. Is firstly we find the actual plugin. Create the selector, so we get the config. What do we use the config for? Right, so we do get parameters, and we exclude parameters that have already been selected. So, for example, here we have delay warp, that's already selected, so that won't be in this list. Because we don't want to select parameters twice. Okay, so that makes sense. So we build a little struct here. This is what we're going to pass into the window probably. Yeah. So this is our window. Pass that in, and that's pretty much it. So then if we look at what's in the window, so that is a document window. That needs a callback so it can close. That needs the parameters that we passed in. So what does that have? Don't do that. Is Copilot on? Right. Yes, Copilot is on. Cool. Okay. We have our state here. Filter, bounds, scroll. Okay. So this state just describes where this window was last, basically. What was typed in here. Because then if you close it, if I open this again, it should remember. And things like the size of the window. So that's what that does. So we'll need to keep that. The full parameter list. Yeah, so that is all of our parameters that we need to have here. Parameter selected callback. Okay, so that is when we double click one of these. We need to do something. And is replacing parameter. What would we use that for? Where does that go? Is replacing. Ah, okay. So that is in the instance where I click this. And that opens the window. Replacing parameter, delay warp. If we want to modulate something else, for example. Okay, that makes sense. The question then is, can I get this to still make sense using JIVE? So I will need some kind of value tree. Will I produce the whole window using this? Or should I do it maybe... can I do this kind of inside this class for now, rather than replacing the whole thing? I don't know if that will be easier, maybe. So initialize, interpret view. Oops, don't click on that. So we can make changes by editing the value tree. So here, okay. Let's create that. Yep. Okay, that's kind of cool. So you can update the value tree and it seems to just automatically pick up the changes. So that could be useful. Okay, so we got some Flexbox stuff which I'll need. I don't know that I will use style sheets yet. Okay, this is all the state stuff, so I'll need that at some point, but probably not for this window. Okay. So, I think in this constructor, what is the GUI item thing? So what I'm trying to get my head around is it easier to replace the whole window? Or is it easier to keep the window class the same and replace the components within it? That's what I'm not sure about. Let's try something small for now. Do I want to do it in place or let's just try it here and see what happens. So if we have a look at our window, we have this component. That has a search bar, table head. Okay, these are look and feels, don't need those right now. We have a text editor, parameter, table list, and our hint label. So there's three things we have here. that is a table list box. Okay. Something to figure out. Can we use our own classes? Does it give us any examples with custom classes? Okay, it seems a little unclear at the minute. Okay, let's start then just with the window. So I'll create a new class. Should I start with the very smallest component? Yeah, let's try that. Okay, let's literally just try and replace these three. So we'll do that within this component class and just see if that works. So the only custom component is this one. And this one will need some state stuff going on. I guess this one will need the scroll position as well to be stored. Other than that, I think it should be straightforward. Okay, so right now we've got quite a lot going on. So we have... Okay, so when we do interpret, does that always give us back a window? Is that always the case? Let's have a look. Move the project. Okay, so if we look at interpret, can I see the definition? So that returns GUI ion. So I feel like that might not be a window. Right, let's just try it. So for now, I just want a let's do the label. So how do I describe label in a value tree? So let's not do that. Let's do juice value tree. What do I even call it? Components. That is a label. I hope that is the right type. Do we actually have a list of these types somewhere? Like if I search, what was it, window? Top level window editor, okay. What else was there? So I'm not sure I understand what these types are. Right, here we have layouts. We have some items. Okay, so that wraps a component, applies properties in the value tree. Right. GUI item itself is a base class from which other classes should derive to implement more specific behavior for a particular type of component. These derived types are applied using the decorator pattern, meaning they should not only derive from GUI item, but should also hold a GUI item, which the decorator manages. This approach means that different behavior can be added to a GUI item at runtime. Okay, two main categories: container items and widget items. Okay, that likely won't be much need to write custom GUI item derivatives, but if there is a need, they should be implemented by the following rules. Prefer to derive from the decorator rather than the item itself. When overriding virtual methods, be sure to always call the same method on the base class, so other decorators managing the same component can properly implement the behavior. Don't rely on the order in which decorators are added. Okay. So you can do custom things there. We need to, but hopefully not. So it still hasn't quite answered my question, which is what are these about? Have I missed this somewhere? Because here we've got window, there's a mention of editor, we've got text. Are there others? Describe you don't use it. Let's look at the example. Okay. So there's our editor. Okay, that returns these, yeah. This one is text. Right, this one is also text. This one is knob, which, does that mean anything? Is that defined somewhere else? Is that just a name? Okay. Decorate with widget behavior. Okay. So this looks like our list, I guess. Okay, that's just a slider. Right, fair enough. Are these all wrappers of juice components? Looks like it. Okay, we're going to use label. So that's fine. What do I need to set on the label? I would like it to have a name. So what is this bit of layout? So we have window. Okay, those are properties on the window. Okay, fine. This is our value tree with that text. Okay, and then these are properties for text. Right. So what kind of properties are available for a label? Let's go back to text. Okay, so these maybe are the properties. Yeah, so they use text, and here is text defined. Okay, that makes sense, I think. So for label, I don't think we get a lot. We get border. Could use text. It's probably fine. It's probably easier. Okay, we'll go with that. Let's have a look again at what the properties are. So, text, we get text, line spacing, justification, word wrap, direction, ideal height, ideal width. We need to use we need to set a font as well, but I can worry about that another time. We need justification centered. Can we set a name or an ID or something? Where did we do that? Where did we do that? I'm sure there was something about an ID. Possibly that. Not sure. Okay, we'll leave that for now. Set our justification. Let's look at the example again. Right, this needs to be itself. value tree, I think. The text. There's one property. We need another property. We need the text itself, which could be one of two things depending on whether we are replacing the current parameter. Okay, so that's fun. I don't think I need to set the word wrap or the direction. Width and height I might have to think about. Okay, I can set the text because I can just do something like easiest way to do this. So if replacing, then we need that text. Otherwise, we need that text. So it goes in there as text. That might be everything. Right, that goes there, that goes there. Okay, so now we would need to interpret. So we need an interpreter that we keep. We have a pointer to the item, okay. So right, so we have our view. I should probably call it view, just to be consistent with the example. And we have an item. No, that's going to be item equals interpreter. Not like that. Interpreter dot interpret. Right. If it's not null, interpreter dot listen. Something like that. Why is he not happy with that? Undefined. No storage class or type. Okay, so it's not happy with Jive not being there. That include in, maybe that will work. Okay, file not found. Right, probably need to reopen Xcode. Since the Xcode project hasn't been updated probably with the module paths. Let's see if that builds. Okay, something in the style sheets it's not happy with. I don't think I need the style sheets right now, so I could just remove that. Okay, style sheets and layout. Let's remove and reopen Xcode. Try this again. Failed again. Why? Okay. Save and reopen. Right. Try it again. Okay, it really doesn't like something in here. Variant converters member reference type. That is a pointer. Did you mean to use that? No member named get. Okay, very strange. So image, that is a reference to juice image, and it's looking for get pixel data. That returns a pointer, and you can't do dot get. Is this something that could have changed in Juice recently? Or maybe my Juice version is just a little bit too old. Let's see what the path is. Okay, so it's a reasonably new version. That should be. Let's have a look what I've got installed. There should be 804. Okay, so Juice is currently on 807, so I'm not that far behind. Oh, and that was 3 days ago. So does anything look suspicious from any of these versions? Do we have breaking changes? Actually, what is the history? Where is it gone? Right, so the bit that's broken, this is in include JIVE components. Jive misc variant converters.h. Okay. That is in core values variant converters. Let's go find that. Is misc variant converters. Right, there it is. Okay, line 312. So this bit here, that was changed last month. Fix producer builds, added .get. Okay, so this is going to be probably because I'm on a slightly older version. So if that was only updated last month, okay, let's go ahead and update Juice. Which will just take a second. Okay, just need to reopen Producer now, and then we should be alright. Okay, version 807. Check our modules. Yeah, 807. Cool. Let's save and reopen that in Xcode. Try the build again. Okay. Right, so that is an error in my code somewhere now, but that's better. Or is it not happy with non-const L value reference to type GUI item cannot bind to temporary of type pointer? Okay, so this is a unique pointer, right? Non-const L value reference to type GUI item. So this is going to be taking a reference, right? Okay. So if I try that. Does that work? I assume even if this builds, it's probably still not going to display on the UI anywhere. So that'll be the next thing to connect. And this is still not happy. I may have to mess with some VS Code settings to get these to work. Right, that looks like it has managed to build something. So if this works, I will have something here. It's not a window, but it'll be something. Some kind of GUI item. Did we say that inherited from a component? Is it something I can do add and make visible? Where was it? GUI item. So that contains a component, maybe. You can give it a component to construct it. And it looks like it contains a shared pointer to the component. Okay, so I think this is all public. So I might be able to just grab that component and do add and make visible. Right, undefined symbols. So somewhere this module is not being included properly. Store the global path. Global path menu views as the path of this module. I don't need that. Create local copy. If this is enabled on local copy, I don't need that. So it's got the correct path because the headers work. So why can't it find the CPP files? Or assume that's what's happening here. Try a clean build, just to see what happens. Just in case. Okay, so we made it as far as linking. Let's see what happens. Still undefined symbols, right? So listen to is missing, component factory is missing, interpret is missing. So to me this usually means that it can't find the CPP file that has the actual implementation. Which should be in the module. So listen to is defined in the header, and then this is the actual implementation that it can't seem to find. We split these, yeah. Don't know why I can't find that. So the header lives in layouts, layout, yeah, next to the CPP file. Strange. I don't know if there's something else I need to configure in here. I would have thought that since I've just added the module, it would just work. I don't know if I need to save all, save project again. We can try it again. Although this looks like a full build again, which is not what I wanted. Okay, I mean we've been on for an hour now. I'll let this run, see what happens. If it doesn't work, then that is probably what I'll pick up in the next stream. See if I can figure out how to get this working. It is probably something simple that I've not quite got set up right. But yeah, hopefully, I mean this is a linking error, right? So we've hit basically everything else on the way here. This should be the last error. And then we should be able to get something drawn on the UI. So I think it would be quite nice to get this working. It looks to me like it might be a much more productive way to work. The problem that I find personally is the biggest chunk of my time is spent on UI things. So anything that would make that a bit easier or a bit quicker sounds pretty good. Okay, same again. Okay, I think I will leave it there for today. I'll have a think about this one and hopefully come back with a fix in the next stream. Yeah, hopefully this was interesting. Thanks for watching. If you are interested, we have a Discord to talk about any audio plugin related things. And if you want to check out Syndicate, there will be a link in the description for that. So yeah, thanks. Yeah, next stream, probably next week sometime. So thanks.